Oh, it's actually going to be hard for this one not to smile.
Welcome back to our channel. Today we're checking in on 3 Bates sisters whose latest updates feel lighter on the surface, but still reveal a lot once you slow down and look at them a little closer. Because lately, even the most casual Bates content has a way of carrying a little extra meaning, whether it's intentional or not. And that's part of what makes these newer posts land the way they do. Erin, Carlin, and Josie have each been in slightly different spaces lately, so even when they share something simple, people don't really watch it in a vacuum. There's already a tone around each of them before the post even goes up. Erin with her quieter, more reflective rhythm, Carlin with the way even ordinary family moments tend to get picked apart, and Josie with a life that somehow keeps feeling both polished and increasingly built like a brand. So these latest updates may look easygoing, but they're still arriving with a bit of background attached to them. Erin's latest update is probably the calmest of the 3, but it may also be the most emotionally revealing. She shared a beachside family video that felt less like a standard post and more like a quiet reflection. Visually, it was soft and warm, sunset light, children playing, Chad nearby, and the kind of peaceful setting that instantly slows everything down. But what really gave the post its weight was the message attached to it. Erin wasn't just posting a pretty family moment, she was framing it as gratitude. Her caption made that especially clear. She reflected on a much earlier version of herself, the one who used to pray for a husband, for babies, and for a future she could only imagine at the time. And then she shifted into the present, saying that what she's been given is even more beautiful than what she once knew to ask for. That kind of wording feels very Erin. It's emotional, but not dramatic. Personal, but still grounded in the spiritual language that has always been central to how she presents her life. And honestly, that's probably part of why the response was so warm. Her followers didn't treat this like just another family reel. They treated it like a genuine testimony. A lot of the comments immediately leaned into faith, blessings, and gratitude. One person wrote, "Amen," and he had it planned that all those blessings would bless us by seeing his goodness towards you and your family. Another simply said, "God is so good." Someone else called her family a blessing, while another follower wrote, "Praise the Lord, he has most certainly blessed you and your family." There was also a slightly different kind of reaction mixed in, one that had less to do with faith language and more to do with what Erin's content represents compared to the rest of social media. One follower commented that it was refreshing to see someone count your blessings while your children play, instead of trying to make everything look perfectly styled or performatively beautiful. That stood out because it captures something Erin still seems to offer that a lot of family content creators have lost. The sense that her life may be curated, but it doesn't feel aggressively packaged. And that may actually be Erin's biggest strength right now. She doesn't need every post to be a big moment. She doesn't need to manufacture suspense or lean into spectacle. Instead, her updates tend to work when they feel rooted in the same 3 things she's always leaned on: faith, family, and contentment. Whether people agree with every part of her lifestyle or not, there's a consistency there that her audience still seems to deeply connect with. Then there's Carlin, whose latest update moves in a much more playful direction. Instead of controversy or emotional intensity, this time the focus was family logistics, specifically the Stewarts trying to get passports for an upcoming trip. And honestly, it's one of those updates that works because it feels like classic young family chaos. It's not trying too hard, but it still leaves just enough mystery to get people talking. The whole thing started with Carlin teasing our next family adventure and adding that they were keeping their fingers crossed the passports would arrive in time. That one caption was enough to set the comment section off immediately, because once followers realized this wasn't just a random errand but preparation for some kind of bigger trip, the guessing game basically started on its own. And people had theories. Lots of them. Some guessed London, some said Italy, and others started floating the idea of a Disney cruise. That kind of speculation makes sense because the Stewarts have built the kind of family content where travel naturally feels like an extension of the brand. They know how to make even a practical outing feel like the setup for something exciting, and this was a pretty perfect example of that. But what made the update actually entertaining wasn't the mystery destination, it was Navy. More specifically, the fact that getting a proper passport photo for her turned into its own little comedy. Since official passport photos obviously require a neutral expression, Carlin and Evan found themselves in the hilariously impossible position of trying to keep a baby from smiling. And apparently, that was much harder than expected. Evan's comment really summed it up best when he joked, "I don't think I've ever heard of someone struggling to get a baby not to smile." That's such a small line, but it's exactly the kind of thing that helps their content land when it's working well. It feels natural, not overly scripted, and it gives the audience a simple, relatable family moment to latch onto. Kelly Jo even joined the comments, writing, "They are too cute! Trying to keep Navy from smiling is impossible." And honestly, that one comment from Kelly kind of says everything. The whole update had that easy, affectionate, low-stakes energy that viewers usually respond well to from Carlin and Evan. There were also a few smaller details that helped the whole thing feel more lived in. Layla brought along her doll, and Zayd showed up with his own little sense of mission, which made the vlog feel less like travel prep content and more like what it actually is, a young family trying to get through a basic task while bringing 3 small kids along for the ride. And that's where Carlin tends to do best. When the content isn't overframed and doesn't feel like it's trying to force a perfect emotional moment, her family life can actually come across as really fun to watch. At the same time, there's something else happening here too, and that's the quiet expansion of the Stewart brand. A passport update may seem small, but it subtly signals something bigger. They're increasingly positioning themselves as a travel-ready, adventure-based young family. Not just local outings and daily routines, but something slightly broader, slightly more aspirational. And once this trip actually happens, it'll probably become one of their bigger content arcs. Then we get to Josie, whose latest update may be the most ordinary in theory, but somehow still says a lot about why her content works. She shared a Costco-themed family update, basically a grocery haul moment. But instead of feeling boring, it ended up landing exactly where her audience likes her most. Polished, practical, and just relatable enough. What made it especially interesting is that this wasn't just a casual solo shopping trip. This was framed as a full family outing, with Josie and Kelton taking all 4 kids along. So right away, the content wasn't just about groceries, it was about what life looks like now as a family of 6. And that alone gives the video a different feel. It becomes less about products and more about scale. More diapers, more snacks, more moving parts, more chaos to organize, and Josie knows exactly how to package that in a way that still fits her image. Even when she's doing something as normal as walking through Costco, her content doesn't really lose its polished tone. It still feels neat, intentional, and visually clean. But unlike some of her more styled beauty or lifestyle content, this one also had enough practical mom energy to make people feel like they were watching something genuinely useful. Her caption helped with that too. "Love a grocery haul, drop your Costco favs" is such a simple line, but it works because it immediately opens the door for interaction. It turns a standard family errand into something communal, and the comments followed that lead exactly. People started sharing recommendations, relating to the chaos of Costco, and reacting to how quickly life moves once your kids are no longer tiny. One person wrote, "Aw, way. Thank you, Mama. Just melted my heart. Miss my girls this little. Soak it all in. My girls are 14 and one will be 16 next month." Another said, "I can easily spend hours and thousands at Costco." Someone else recommended Kevin's meals, pointing out they're dairy-free and actually good. And another comment simply said, "Best days. Wish I could have my kids little again." Kelly Jo also jumped in here too, writing, "This is making me hungry. I need to go shopping with you next time so you can teach me all the good stuff to buy at Costco." That mix of reactions says a lot about Josie's current lane. She's still aspirational, but in a way that feels approachable. She can post something clean and aesthetically pleasing without making people feel shut out of it. That's not actually easy to pull off, especially when your brand already leans polished. But she's gotten very good at sitting in that middle space, elevated enough to feel curated, but normal enough to still feel useful. And that may be what ties all 3 of these updates together. Erin, Carlin, and Josie are all sharing very different slices of life right now, but each one is reinforcing something distinct about their public identity. Erin still leans into peace, gratitude, and faith. Carlin thrives most when her content feels energetic, playful, and family-centered without trying too hard. And Josie continues to build a version of motherhood that looks polished, efficient, and quietly brand-savvy. That's also why the Bates family still holds people's attention so easily. Even when the updates are relatively small, they never feel completely random. They always reveal something about how each sister is shaping her corner of the internet. And in a family this watched, that matters more than ever. Because at this point, they're not just posting memories, they're all building their own version of a public life. One beach prayer, one passport appointment, and one Costco haul at a time. So now I want to hear from you. Which update stood out to you the most? Erin's sweet family moment, Carlin's passport chaos, or Josie's Costco mom era? Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more daily Bates family updates.